dear viewers, Dynamic Living, the Total You would like to invite you in the next 60 minutes as we try to discuss here our episode on We Are at War. And we are going to be talking about the Green Revolution, our role, your role, my role in helping preserve Mother Nature. And I am very much honored tonight to have with me here in the studio my guests, honorable guests, who will be able to share with us any input or any experiences that they have regarding, Mother Earth. I'd like to first welcome to the show our youngest member of the panelists. We have here Mr. Philip Flores. He is actually the program coordinator, Xavier Ecoville Project. Good evening sa iyo, Philip.
Good evening, Doc, and good evening to our viewers. I'm so happy to be here and honored to represent the Xavier Ecoville Project.
Yes, at hindi naman kompleto ang ating pag-uusapan kung wala naman ang ating mga kaibigan sa DENR, no? So, andito po si Mr. Fidel Gamos. He's the Greening Program in charge of DENR Region 10. Good evening po sa inyo.
Good evening, Doc, and also to our televiewers. And I'm very glad to be invited for the second time here.
Yes, I know. Di ba? Parang matagal na yun eh.
Last year. I also...
And we were discussing din parang environment din. Po. So ngayon, this is just a follow-through, looking at it in a different way. No? Andito din naman, kasama din natin sa studio ngayon, ang isang environmentalist, a wildlife photographer, writer, documentary producer. He's also a volunteer, according to him. He has been volunteering for the work for the past 25, 35, 40 years? Kabilangin yung kanyang edad. Kaya nga sabi ko, nag-start ako ng 25, 35, 45 years. Di ba? I'd like to welcome to the show, Jenny Cabrera Serding. Good evening sa'yo.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be of service.
At marami kaming matututunan ngayong gabing ito because, you will have you have a wealth of experience regarding Mother Nature. So I'd like to start off by asking muna our friend from the ENR. Sir, what is the condition of our natural resources, particularly in Region 10, nowadays?
Nowadays, our forest stands are quite increasing because of the National Greening Program, which started in 2011 yet. So these plantations that have added to our data on plantations established, and that with the issuance of Executive Order number 23, which by President Pinoy, which now have imposing the ban on cutting of the natural forest. So only planted species are now allowed.
Pero di ba sir, talaga naman dati pa, di ba dapat meron naman tayong ban para sa pagpuputol ng mga kakahuyan na yan. So kumbaga, hetong bagong executive order na ito is just para bang it's only, kumbaga, dinadagdag lang natin sa batas para lang ma-implement natin at mapatibay yung batas na meron na, di po ba?
Yeah, it reinforced our existing
Pero yung sinabi po
regulations.
ninyo na in 2010, you started with adding, planting more trees. Alam ko, ang mga kabataan, nagtatanim talaga yan eh. Di ba sa NSTP nila kahit saan ng mga schools, kahit sa University of the Philippines, kahit sa UST, kahit sa Xavier, lahat ng eskwelahan yata, talagang they are tasked to plant a tree. Parang yun yung natin. So pag sinabi po natin na reforestation, ano po ba talagang ibig sabihin nito? Ibig sabihin ba, wala na tayong forest?
Actually, we started reforestation. The government has started reforestation way back 1980s, but then it was shall we say it was a failure because what happened then was planting alone, then leave it to nature. While the government now has studied from the lessons from the past mistakes, that in the National Greening Program, we plant at the same time we maintain and protect. So it started in 2011 under the reign of Pinoy from 2011 to 2016. It aims to nationally achieve planting of 1.5 billion trees in 1.5 million hectares. And this is cascaded to all regions, and our share also in the Region 10, we started in 2011
So mga ilan na kayang millions tayo ngayon? Yung sa Region 10 lang kaya na naitanim natin? Would you have a rough estimate? Like, nakapagtanim na kaya tayo ng mga 1 million trees? O wala pa naman?
About maybe mga kasi ang ano yan, for every hectare, about 500 trees. So if we have established about 30,000 hectares
So, multiply
since
natin yan.
2011, we'll multiply by 500. So that
So
will
marami
be,
na nga tayo
marami
na
na nga.
itanim, no? Pero,
Million na.
yeah, gusto ko ikaw tanungin, Sir Ding, yung sinasabi ni Sir here, na dati kasi parang itatanim mo lang, iiwanan mo. Hetong kanila ngayong bagong programa is kailangang alagaan mo at i-maintain mo. Would you say na from your years of experience na it will be more productive, it will be able to really truly reforest or replenish whatever yung natanggal?
Well, for one thing, it is better than just leaving it there. But if we were to plant the natural species, something like we call rainforestation, they naturally belong there, and by nature, they should grow. But my question is way beyond that. You did mention, sir, that since the 80s we have laws regarding reforestation, replanting, but who cut the trees? Did we cut the trees? Why should we be planting the trees? Isn't it in the law that for every tree that you cut,
You have to replenish that one, replace that.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So why are we at this stage where we have to replant for others who cut them down?
Pero in relation to that kasi, if tingnan talaga natin, no, na nung araw, say 20, 30 years, nagbibilang na yung mga viewers natin kung ilang taon na tayo, no? So 20 or 30 years, hindi kasali dito si Philip, si Sir Fidel lang, at saka si Sir Ding, at saka maybe ako, no? Inaamin ko talaga yon. Na kumbaga 20, 30 years ago, pag sumakay ka ng aeroplano, you know, you ride the plane, and you pag nag-ano kaya may aerial view mo, nung araw makikita mo green.
Wide expanse.
Wide expanse of talagang panay green makikita mo. Pero parang 10 years, more or less, manonotice mo yung difference na para bang halaka, kalbo na yata ang mga kabukiran natin. Di ba parang yun yung impression natin? So in other words, talagang there is a need for us to go green revolution. Do you think na that should be where it should be, Sir Phil?
Yeah, that's actually the objective of the National Greening Program. From 2011 up to 2016, that we can be able to plant more trees and more hectares. And according to Sir Ding, the rainforestation, we also have component on rainforestation because there are areas to be planted, our protected areas, like Mount Malindang National Park, the Mount Kitanglad. There are portions there that are bare and we should be planted with natural seedlings like lawaan.
What used to be there.
What used to be there. So we call that as indigenous species.
Indigenous, yes.
While here in the in other areas aside from the protected areas, we can plant coffee, cacao. So these are for livelihood because one of the objectives of the National Greening Program is to address poverty reduction. So our people's organizations are being engaged. They're the ones to be
So in other
producing
words,
the seedlings and
Sir
planting.
Ding, ang sinasabi ni Sir Fidel here is that parang it's not just all about replenishing whatever there is na tinanggal, kundi it will also give ample livelihood sa mga
Yes,
katauhan, di ba? Kasi kasama na yan dahil syempre kung walang pagkakabuhayan yan, ano bang gagawin nila? Di puputulin nila yon.
Oo, yun.
Pag pinutol
That's it.
nila yon, it's a one-time thing na ibenta ko yan. O sige, tapos na. That ends there. Pero if they're given the tools
Livelihood.
also to be able to make their livelihood, siguro naman they will be more inclined to protect what there is.
Yeah.
Di po ba?
Yes, that's true. That's true. But we also have to consider biodiversity.
Yeah. That's why the rainforestation. Okay.
That's very important.
Definitely,
biodiversity.
Doc, actually, in the rainforestation, definitely no cutting in the protected areas. We plant indigenous species to bring back the natural forest. While in the production areas,
Pwede nilang
the
putulin
people's
yun.
organization are allowed to later on
So, mga POs and beneficiaries,
benefit from the
stakeholders.
proceeds of the, because these are for plantation species like rubber, rubber, you can extract
Yung ano niya, yung dagta niya, oo.
dagta.
Oo, yung pulp,
So, baka
oo.
ano yung livelihood. Pero yung pwede i-harvest, yung mga
Lawaan.
Jamelina, hindi.
Jamelina.
Natural yan.
Okay.
Yung mga mahogany.
So, pwede sila.
Pwede nila cut, but later on, there will be a production sharing scheme for the government and for them. But most of the production areas, the people are opted for rubber. So this will not be
Which is
cut
also good, di ba?
Because they are after of the latex of the rubber.
Kasi tuloy-tuloy yan
Tuloy-tuloy.
Oh, maha-harvest
Sustainable
nila.
harvest.
Sustainable siya.
And others are also fruit trees. So they will not cut because they produce of the fruits.
Fruit-bearing yan
They will be the one to harvest.
So maganda
that is
yung
the
kanilang
incentive.
ginagawa
Maganda.
ngayon. Pero di ba, Sir Ding, dapat ginawa na yan nung araw pa?
Actually, maganda naman lahat talaga ang ano natin ang laws, ang provisions. Kaya lang hindi na-implement. Question
So,
is
nandun tayo sa
implementation.
implementation.
Like,
so,
political
ngayon, syempre, kasabwat na niyan, yung mga nangyari sa atin. Like, for example, tayo nasendungan tayo. At teka nga, matanong ko kayo ang dalawa. Mamaya, susunod na ito si Philip kasi masyadong excited na si Philip na sumagot. At siya pala ang napapag-iwanan sa discussion na to. Philip, you can join us, no? Pero, like, for example, let me ask you, Sir Ding, ha? Yung totoo, walang halong tago. Sabihin na natin na, ilang taon na po kayong nanirahan dito sa Cagayan de Oro? Sige nga.
Something dropped. I came here in 2001.
Okay, so 2001, that means if you compute that, ilang years na yan, Philip nga, sige, magaling ka pa sa mathematics. So in 2001, ngayon so that's
13
around
years.
13, hindi, 2015 na tayo, 14 years na ikaw.
14 years,
Oo. Ikaw naman, Sir Fidel.
I'm a native of Cagayan de Oro City.
So ibig sabihin, lumaki
I'm
ka
now
dito.
55 years old, but the 5 years was spent in Mindanao State University. When
So,
I
nandun ka. So,
took up the bachelor's
wag mong aminin yung edad
forestry.
mo. Tinatanong
So most
Dati naawan?
dito talaga ako na
MS yun na awan?
Marawi City.
Okay.
Marawi.
Kasi,
Dito ako na-raise
kasi
na-
like for example, me, I'm a Dayo here. But I've stayed in Cagayan for the past 16, 17 years also. So, ibig sabihin, mas matanda ako sa inyo. Kasi 15, aminin mo na. So yung point ko, the reason why I'm asking you that is actually the past years, like 16 years na nandito ako. So, 13 years of that, I never saw a flooding in Cagayan de Oro. Di ba? Di ba parang yung flooding na nakita natin talaga na grabe-grabe it started with Sendong, right?
Yes,
Although previous to that, merong isa. Pero hindi kagaya nung nangyari sa Sendong. And nag-anniversary na naman tayo. Di ba? Last month, di ba?
Yes.
Nag-anniversary na tayo. So kaya ko lang naman tinatanong sa inyo, pupunta tayo ngayon kay Philip. Heto Philip ngayon, yung sa inyo, you became very active nung nagsendong.
Yes, ma'am.
Di ba? So you tell us now what you are active about para doon sa sendong na yun.
Ayun, during the aftermath of Typhoon Sendong, there was chaos. No one really know what to do, even the government. But then there are a lot of organizations and different individuals who created different advocacies in helping the Sendong survivors. So one of them is Xavier University. So during Xavier University's, the first day of the aftermath is we conducted the Tabang Sendong operation. Like we pull different goods and services, and then pull different volunteers to help the different internally displaced individuals. But then after several days of doing some recovery and giving relief goods, the Xavier University we ask ourselves like, what's more to giving relief operation?
Kasi minsan, itigilin mo na kita, Philip, ha? Diba, hindi naman yun, kasi parang band-aid treatment yan,
Yes.
Pag nagbigay ka ng relief good, palay yung mga nagpapalimos dyan. Pag nagbigay ka sa kanila ng piso ngayon, band-aid yun.
Band-aid, yeah.
So, kunyari, may tragedy na nangyari, nagbigay tayo ng relief goods, that's band-aid. You are not addressing the real problem,
Yes.
diba? And the real problem then was actually
Resettlement.
resettlement. Kasi nga, wala na silang tirahan
Yes.
Dahil nawala lahat yun. So, when you conceptualize, when Xavier University conceptualized yung resettlement na yan, dito pumasok yung Ecoville, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
What is this Ecoville all about?
So, Xavier Ecoville is a recovery, rehabilitation, and resettlement project led by Xavier University together with the local government units private partners and non-government organizations. It builds around 567 houses. And
Doon sa Lumbia ninyo yan ginawa, right?
Yes, ma'am, in Lumbia, and we provided community development programs because our vision is not just to provide houses or to build houses, but to build a community. So right now, we are already in our 3-year doing community development, providing not just houses, but we are providing livelihood, we're providing different environment advocacies and organizational development.
In other words, you're teaching the people, the residents there, on how to love Mother Nature.
Yes.
Diba? Ganun lang naman kasimple yun eh, diba? Kasi kung bawat isa sa atin is a fire with a passion to be able to preserve Mother Nature. Kasi lahat naman ng mga nangyayari na ito, it all boils down to one thing eh,
Yes.
yung neglect natin.
Yes.
Diba? At sama-sama tayo, kapwa tayo, we are all culprits in this. Hindi natin pwedeng i-pinpoint, kasi si DENR walang ginawa, hindi nila in-stop yung illegal logging. O kaya naman, si ganito ang LGU, hindi nila in-implement yung batas, diba, for illegal loggers. O kaya naman, you know, there are a lot of finger pointing, but at the end of it all, tayo lahat yun, di ba? So, tanungin kita, Sir Ding, kayo, kailan ninyo naisipan na maging advocate kayo at maging environmentalist kayo? Was there an experience or an event in your life na nagising kayo na dati-rate, heto lang yung ginagawa ko, pero ngayon parang naisip ko na I really have to do something about helping out?
Okay, so I will self-incriminate.
Sige lang.
Actually started before 1980s.
Okay.
I've always been a nature lover. And this is a very interesting story about human character. Ever since a child, I was a nature lover. I once strayed away from home, okay, and went through a clump of bushes, okay, climbing up the hill, and I peeked through the bushes. I saw a very, very green pasture. And in my mind went, wow, this must be what Eden was. Okay? The pasture, there was a pool of water. So I've always loved,
How old were you then when you had that?
I'd say about 9,
9 years old.
10 years old.
So ganun ka palang kabata, you already had this concept in mind na kung ganito kaganda dapat, ganito dapat i-preserve natin. Is that what went through your mind?
Yes, it's beautiful. Wow, I need to see more of this. So I needed to go to the jungles. And being a growing up teenager, there was so much peer pressure. So I was a very active hunter. So I spent nights in the jungle hunting. And then eventually I thought about it. You know what? I'm only doing this because I want to be in the jungle. I felt something good, something different. Okay, I felt so close to the earth. So I gave up my guns and used the camera instead.
So you went into photography,
Yeah, I went into
wildlife
Yes.
photography.
Nature photography. Okay, and that started something, a movement within me.
Okay.
Okay, and in fact, that is my advocacy now. Okay,
Which is?
we need a spiritual and moral revolution within the core of humanity, within us.
Kasi unless you have that, you will never be able to feel the need, di ba, to preserve Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Kasi dapat iisa lang yan eh. It's like you know, a person being, you know, you have this burning feeling inside you that you should do something in order to help. Di po ba? Actually, in all aspects of our lives, whatever work we are into, whether you're a professor, whether you're teaching, no? Whether you're a nurse, whether you're a doctor, whether you're whatever you do, a scientist, a geologist, whatever it is, it starts with how you view. Di po ba?
Yeah. Perception.
So, yung perception mo. So, baligyan kita, Philip. So, ikaw naman, so nagtayo kayo ng mga resettlement and you
Yes.
tried to build communities from there. So hindi nyo lang sila binigyan ng bahay, kundi tinuruan ninyo silang mamuhay.
Yes.
Di po ba? So how did you bring this change about? Kasi I am very sure at the time, hirap kaya yan. Di
Yes.
ba? Sir Ding, but Mr. Phil, It's so difficult. Heto sila nawalan ng mga bahay. Ipagsasama-samahin mo from different places. At saka iba-iba ang mga attitude nila na yan, di ba? Pagsamahin mo, bigyan mo ng mga bahayan. Hindi kaya nagkaroon ng kaguluhan, di ba? So, how did you bring about change there?
Yeah, it's actually, we call it a artificial community because we're bringing different people from different communities. So what we did is we envisioned them to be self-sufficient and self-governing by the end of certain years. So we created different programs such as community building, community strengthening, so that they will get to know each other. Like they get the feel of a new community. They get the shared vision, they get the shared value system, and hopefully they get to own their new community. So yeah, you're right, ma'am. It's really a challenge at the start, since Xavier University, we don't have any expertise in handling a resettlement project. It's actually a learning experience. But then through this experience, we have learned that there is a different approach in different communities
Ano
and
lang
different
naman yan
people.
eh, kumbaga parang experimental naman lahat,
Yes.
di ba? When you start something, it's like experimenting, and then you learn to know how to do it, by committing some errors.
Yeah.
And then along the way, you learn to sharpen and focus, di po ba, Sir Ding?
But there is a term for what that is, what you're doing. It's called empowerment. You have to empower them. Right? We're educating them. Right? And not,
Empowering.
it's biblical again, don't give them fish. Teach them how to
How
fish.
to fish. Yeah. So, babalik pa rin tayo doon sa pinaka-basic.
Yes,
Di ba?
pinaka-basic.
Lahat yan sila babalik at babalik doon sa basic eh. Sir, paano yung ano natin? So, like, heto, nag-resettlement nga sila. Heto naman how sure are we na hetong climate change, grabe ang effect sa atin eh. Di po ba? Global warming and everything. So, dyan naman talaga nagsisimula lahat. Pero, would you say kayo sa DENR, are you prepared now, better prepared kayo to handle some things that, should, God forbid, no, that another sendong should hit the region or the city? Are we better prepared?
Yeah, actually, the National Greening Program, that one of the objectives is climate change mitigation and adaptation. Aside from the poverty reduction, we also have Serding's expertise. We also have biodiversity conservation.
Yes, yes.
And mitigating, that's another objective on climate change. And in the DNR, whenever there are, like last week, the Ruby, the typhoons,
Yung mga dumadaan sa atin,
Dumaan.
like Amang, oo.
we have our Mines and Geosciences Bureau that will really go to the areas and conduct assessment, because they are very active in geohazards. They are the expert office, the Mines and Geosciences Bureau, and they always coordinate with our local government units. In fact, there have been geohazard maps given to the LGUs that made them now equipped with especially with DALG, the Disaster Risk Reduction Management. They are now in tandem with our
Yeah, sa
DNR.
inyo, di ba? I remember
Mas
last
ano na
year
ngayon?
we discussed that, yung
Yeah.
mga geohazards natin. So, pag sinabi natin na eto, mas aware na tayo,
Mas
na
aware
meron
na.
tayong mga ganyan. So, heto ba sila, ang ginagawa ba natin kailangan nating alagaan yung mga lugar na yan para naman na they will also protect us in turn. Alam mo, heto yung nakakapagtaka sa ating mga tao Yun, human nature. We forget na by protecting our mother nature, we are also being protected.
Yes.
Kasi it's a cycle Di po ba, Sir
Cycle.
Ding?
Yes,
It's a
yes.
cycle.
And may I
Yeah,
say something
go
about
ahead.
that? Actually, my approach now, is I always go back to Genesis. Okay? Because the Genesis, it was very clear that we, as humans, were given the dominion mandate where we take care of, we have dominion over all things that move, that creep, okay? All over creation. Because once I ask myself, lumalakad ba ako? O ano? Lumilipad ba ako? Hindi. Pero lumalakad ako, so I'm part of that. Which means we should protect also everything. But if we go back to Genesis, there was the second mandate, stewardship mandate.
Stewardship.
We're supposed to take care, di ba?
Yes, we're supposed to take care, okay? And that's why in my mind, and what I'm doing now, is I'm going through the churches, the religious organizations, because in my simple mind, by reading the chapters of Genesis, it is the job of the church, okay, to perform stewardship. Okay? Not solely sabihin natin, ay, trabaho ng gobyerno yan. No. And who is the church?
Tayo.
Tayo.
Bawat members.
We are the church.
Tayo
Okay.
yun lahat.
So we have to go back to square one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and that's what I call, we need a spiritual and moral revolution. Diba? At war tayo ngayon.
At war tayo.
But who's the enemy?
Tayo din.
Tayo rin.
Sarili din natin, di ba? Kasi tayo din yung sumisira.
Yeah.
Now, when we return, we'll discuss further, no? Like, for example, yung sa Ecoville, meron silang mga projects na ginawa.
Yes.
So, we are also interested in knowing ano itong mga projects na ginagawa natin para mainganyo yung mga nakatira doon at maging model naman ito para sa surrounding areas. And at the same time, we'll be asking our DN, our friends here, na heto, ano pa ba ang pwede natin gawin in order to protect, no? Further destruction. Kasi Sir Ding, hihintayin pa ba natin na maulit-ulit? Di po ba? So please stay tuned, and when we return, we'll continue on with our discussion here. We are at war. So, Green Revolution.
Hope Channel viewers are loyal, encouraging friends and neighbors to watch. Why? Our viewers believe that Hope Channel not only enhances living, but changes lives through its compelling lineup of programs. Documentaries take subscribers around the world and back through time, visiting places where history was made. Fascinating biographies open up the lives and times of people who made a difference. Travel programs transport the viewer around the world, demonstrating how people work together to make a better planet. Inspirational programming challenges viewers to experience the joy of discovering faith values and offers spirituality as an important part of a balanced lifestyle. Health and lifestyle programs teach disease prevention and make healthy living simple and attractive. Hope Channel programs provide invaluable support for developing healthy relationships and strong communities. Welcome to donor-supported Hope Channel.
Charlene, importante ba sa atong kinabuhi ang pag-amping sa atong kinaiyahan? Ngano og ngano dili?
Kinahanglan nato ampingan natong kinaiyahan kay kita ra man pud gud ang mabulahan. Oo, then kanang sa pag-amping sa atong kinaiyahan, dili lang kay atong kaugalingon ang mabulahan, apil pud ang uban.
Dako jud nga importante kay ang kinaiyahan man good God's made. Then kinahanglan pud natong kuan alagaan ang kinaiyahan kay like Mother Earth. So kung walang kinaiyahan, so mo na makakos atong mga climate change. So nakahatag beto na itong mga kaladungan, labi ng mga kahoy. Muna siya, ang importante jud kayo.
Yes ma'am, kay sa nature man good kay kita kailangan jud kay na nato fresh air, fresh water para mabuhi ta. So instead nga to ang margdaoton or nga na importante jud kay na siya nato alagaan. Kay para sa next generation, napay mga bata nga makatilaw sa fresh air o fresh water nga ato ang natilawan karon.
Kailangan malinis sa ang atong kuan kinayahan kay sa laing lugar magkaano ang mga sakit sa Ebola kay di malinis, especially sa doon sa Africa.
Sa unsa na pamaagi kita makaguba sa kinaiyahan?
Magputol sa mga kahoy, nang magsunog og mga plastic kay maumugunay makakostog usamot ang kainit. Ya labi na magpatakat ang labay sa mga sagbo so makakos og flood. Labi na pagputol sa kahoy so makakos gihapon og flood mo nang kinahanglan gyud ang paglabay sa basura in proper place para ang atong kanayan di gyud tatong maguba.
Kanang gipang gamit nila mga illegal logging. Grabe na kayo nga damage gina sa atong katilingban. Pamutol ang gobyerno nag-tree planting, ang mga ahensya sa gobyerno nag-tree planting. Ang mapaputulsan katong mga giingon ko lagi kani mga dagkong kapitalista. Ila kawaton ang kahoy.
Para sa ako, makaguba siguro kanang mga gapamutol sa kahoy sa bukid nga munang cause dayon sa pagbaha. Dayon daghan kay mga tao nga mga inosente nga mga matay, maapektuhan.
Makaguba ta sa atong kinaiyahan sa kanang sama lang anang gabuhaton sa uban nga kanang pagmagkaon ilabay bisag asa ang basura, tapos kanang magsunog mga plastic makaguba sa ozone layer, then mohinungdan bitaw mo abunrag mabot din sa kuan global warming, then
Unsa na ginagmay na butang imong ginabuhat alang sa pag-amping sa kinaiyahan?
First of all, ana, kay sa imong kaugalingon, jud dapat na. So, sa balay, so, dili pwede magsunog-sunog, manglimpyo. Then, kabalo ta sa mga products nga gamito nato nga dili makadaot sa ozone layer. Then, next dayon, ana, encourage nato ang uban mga tao para madala nato sila. So, from minority, mo dagan siya padulong sa major extent.
Sama nang dili pagputol sa kahoy, pag planting mo na kanaaron dili kita madamis kita ra mangyapon maigo ang lumulupyo di sa atong nasod. Dapat sama na nang ginabawal, gina-tree planting aron unta nga lugar ang sama na ning bagyo nagpalagi lang bagyo baha. Mo kunta na angayan nga suportaran nato ang tree planting.
Pinaka-importante gyud mas labing maayo jud maghinay-hinaytan og mga kahoy. Kaya ang kahoy pod ang purpose pod sa kahoy ang kayang mahatag sa ato is kalandong ug oxygen. So kinahanglan po ang paglimpyo sa palibot. Din kinahanglan mas labi yung importante sa tanan ang pagtanom jud og mga kahoy sa mga kabukiran. Kay mao maguna siya ang mag-protect good panahon gusto pang ulan-ulan og mga baha og mga landslide.
Manghilo sa palibot, number 1. Then, kanang gatanom po sa mga mga garden yan.
Welcome back to Dynamic Living, the Total You with our episode, We Are at War, Green Revolution. So narinig natin yung interview, di po ba? And surprisingly, kahit na yung mga kabataan, alam naman nila, di po ba? So let's now proceed with yung sa inyo sa Ecoville. You said na resettlement kayo, and you are teaching also them to become a community by themselves and to have livelihood programs. So can you please share with us nga, Philip, yung inyong mga livelihood programs na ginagawa ngayon dyan?
Yun, currently we're doing, it's under a cooperative because we established a cooperative, and the cooperative has 6 enterprises. And we have wholesale, credit and loan, and we have sewing. And what's interesting about sewing is we're doing upcycling products, like we recycle used tarpaulins, and we created bags used for conference kits or different gatherings. So, and then not just that, we also have what we call a designing different cabinets or different for Christmas decorations using how do you call this, the recycled materials. So we created
So
different
lahat
things.
sila ng mga nandoon, ay kasali sila dito. They can join kasi kung resident sila doon. And how is the response of the people, like for example, when they buy these products, di ba? So is the response very good? Kasi syempre kung maganda ang response, kung marami silang nabibenta, that means in yun. And it will also inspire them to do, greater numbers.
Yeah, most of our buyers, they felt that they are already part of the change. The change that we want to, the Ecoville wants to bring, like, they are part of the bandwagon of doing something for the environment. And what's good about these projects that we're doing is that people are responding greatly to this cause. Because like if they know that this products comes from recycled materials, or we're doing something for the environment, like, they really want to purchase, they want to really help because they want to be part of the change.
Napakaganda naman pala eh. Di ba, if you notice ngayon, pag sa groceries, wala ng plastic.
Or magbabayad ka. May multa.
Di ba? Oo, di ba? Kasi nagsimula yan doon sa NCR sa Manila.
Sa Muntinlupa.
Sa Muntinlupa. And then ang Quezon City. And then ang Manila area. So kumbaga, lahat ng ibibigay sa'yo, papel, ang ang iyang pambalot mo. Karamihan, napapaaway dyan eh. Di ba? Kasi nga naman, ipapasok mo sa isang supot. Kung mabigat, pag nahulog yun, pupulutin mo lahat yun.
Basa.
Di ba?
Or
Basa.
yung mga bag, binibentahan tayo ng mura mga bag.
Na recyclable. Yun ba? Yung mga bags na yan, galing ba yan sa kanila din? Yung mga
canvas
ginagamit
bags.
ngayon, yung mga canvas bags, yung mga shopping bags na galing sa recycled materials.
Right now, we're trying to go into malls, but we're actually doing also canvas bags. But we have a shop in Divisoria, so we're selling recycled bags and canvas bags that they can use for different purposes.
Kasi dapat alam ng ating mga viewers yan. So they would know na, they can avail of this, they can buy this, they can become a part of this community work. Kasi eventually, it will trickle down, it will benefit everyone. Kasi nga naman, dami-daming plastic, nandiyan na sa mga, natin, di nagbabaha na naman tayo kasi nagka-clogging na naman. So it's a vicious cycle. So Sir Fidel, if you notice, talaga naman hetong climate change, it's a vicious cycle, di po ba? Flooding, sakit. Lahat na yata nandun na Yung sinabi kanina ng isang in-interview natin, makikita natin yung Ebola virus, yung mga dengue ngayon, yung mga malaria, mas malaganap sila at the same time, mas difficult sila i-treat. So that's part of the health hazards. But aside from this, ano po kaya ang pwede nating sabihin sa mga viewers natin para maengganyo talaga natin sila na, hey, join us in our fight against, being so abusive of Mother Nature.
Actually, they have also one of our line agencies, the Environment Management Bureau, who really go into this advocacy, the solid waste management program, and they constantly go to the LGUs so that this solid waste management program will be propagated, and we even have model LGU sites, the Linamon, and that this will serve as model sites. And together with the LGUs are also implementing the solid waste management program. Kasi I got struck with those that lady, that
Yes, yung bata
bata
kanina,
babae.
yung estudyante na
sinabi
sabi
niyang
niya,
solid waste.
yung solid waste, alam niya Tapos yung pagsusunog, bawal yun. Yung paglilinis sa bakod. These are simple things na each one of us can do. So ikaw naman, Sir Ding, sabi mo nga kanina, it always start from the very basic.
Yes.
So ano yung pinagkakabalahan mo ngayon in terms of helping promulgate or promote na let us all take care of our Mother Nature?
Well, for one thing, napakasimple. Isang simple solution dyan. A big part of the problem is personal waste. Diba?
Yeah, true.
Personal waste. So, I'm trying to encourage people to realize that whatever you throw will eventually end up down there sa marine ecosystem, destroying the marine life. Okay? So, like, for instance, naninigarilyo tayo. If we're smokers.
So sisirain niya yung ano natin.
Yung you smoke, never mind. Yung usok, forget the usok. Pagkatapos mo mag-smoke sa mga tatapon,
Kahit saan.
kahit saan. How long does it take to degrade? Cigarette
It's
filter.
non-biodegradable.
Non-biodegradable.
So what I'm saying is, wala naman nagpupuwersa sa atin manigarilyo So kung manigarilyo tayo, siguro mas okay kung meron tayong baon na lalagyan. Nung filter
Or
natin.
ashtray.
Kung walang trash cans na available, tago siguro natin. And then, back to basics tayo. Itong mga personal waste natin, candy wrappers. Gusto mong kumain ng candy, tapos dudumihan mo pa yung environment natin. Bulsa mo kaya? Pagdating sa bahay,
Ipasok mo sa basurahan mo.
pasok mo sa basurahan. But, you know what's amazing is, may makikita ka dyan, dito yung trash can, ano? Sa
Pero
palibot
sa
yung mga
palibot mo ng basura, wala, di ba?
Okay.
Pumunta ka sa mall,
Yes.
yung mga, kahit na yung sa mga, yung mga ATM machines, di ba? Na nakala, you see all around,
receipts.
yung
Tinapon
receipts,
nila doon.
andun lang nila hinuhulog.
So that's what I'm saying again.
Moral and
Basic spiritual and moral revolution from within. Now, we can realize that, okay, all cultures have their own versions of Genesis creation, okay? And we should all realize that all of this, okay, are not ours. We are not the real owners.
Kumbaga, hiram lang.
Pahiram lang sa atin
So,
to
stewards na nga lang tayo, di ba?
Stewards tayo. So pag may humiram ba sa iyo, gusto mo babalik niya, sira na?
Siyempre ayaw mo. Pero, di ba, in relation to that, yung isa sa mga bata na in-interview kanina, may binanggit siya na gusto niya na, kumbaga, yung future generations, ma-enjoy niya rin yung masarap na simoy ng hangin, na kumbaga, hindi naman panay baha ang dadaanan niya. Di ba? That's one beautiful thing na ngayon bata pa sila, alam nila na
Education.
so it started with being educated properly, di ba? Kumbaga, alam na nila na dapat part yun. Kasi nga naman, whatever we do now to Mother Nature, we reap the consequences.
Yeah.
Tayo din ang mag-aani at yung mga future generations natin, di
I
ba?
have a question about that.
Yeah.
Saan mag-uumpisa yung education?
Bahay.
Sa bahay.
Okay? At saka, like I said, sa simbahan, kasi tayo, we are the church, tayo yun eh. Okay? Sa atin mag-uumpisa, maliit pa lang, mumulat na natin. And how do we do that? Because sabi mo, anak, huwag ka magtatapon ng basura, ha?
Pero nagtapon ka. Oo.
Paano makikinig sa atin?
So, kumbaga,
Role
you lead
model.
by example.
By example.
Kasi everything should be, by example. Role models tayo
Oh,
lahat.
model, lifestyle change
Lifestyle
yan.
change.
Talaga. That's what we need to do. Change ng lifestyle. By moral and spiritual revolution.
Parang nabasa ko yata, Philip, is it true na kahit na yung urine ginagamit, parang nire-recycle daw dun sa Eco Village?
Yes,
Ano to?
ma'am.
Yeah.
During the temporary houses, we're doing what we call the eco-sanitation. Like we recycle the human waste to create a good fertilizer for livelihood. And then, because I think to add to your answer, this war, I think it's partly system, but for me it's more about behavioral change. Like what we're doing right now is continuous education to different households. Like, because I think we're instilling to them, you do simple things, because simple things that is collectively done, it can make a big difference. Like we're asking them to, you do backyard gardening, you do waste segregation, like simple things. Like, so right now, most of them are doing waste segregation. And then there are one block there, they're doing water catchment. So not just to recycle the water, but to avoid drippings, because drippings can create flood or something. And then they have solar street lights. So like simple things that, like one community doing simple things in every household, collectively can make a real big difference.
So in other words, hetong Ecoville na to would be mas nakakahiya yata kung ang Ecoville ay magagawa nila ito at tayo sa ating mga sariling mga pangtahanan, hindi natin kayang gawin. Di po ba?
Kaya nga, ano yun internal change
Internal
talaga.
change dapat
Internal
yun.
change talaga. I'll give you an example, kung why I think it is the very powerful weapon na in this war na hindi natin nagagamit, yung simbahan. Okay, one example, may nag-chat-chap dyan ng band, protected species ng puno. Dadating yung ranger or police. Sabihin niya, if you don't stop that, you go to jail. Illegal yan. Dumating yung isang pare, matatang pare. Anak, if you don't stop that, you will go to hell. Sino ba niniwalaan? I mean, exaggerated yun,
but that's the reality.
That's my point, So kung ang magsasalita, simbahan, tayo at yung mga leaders natin sa simbahan, mas madaling sumunod ng tao
Kasi ano yun kumbaga may spiritual, moral ascendancy yun So balikan ko naman si Sir. Sir, paano yun? Ano ba talaga ang top priority program ngayon ng DENR in our war against, going through all of these calamities again that will hit us?
We have here my companion, the Chief of the Regional Public Affairs Office, Ms. Lina Calves. And just last year, we were going around the campuses. We were going around schools and other establishments that we promote the climate change. Sabi, may mga t-shirts pa nga kami with the students. Nagbago ng panahon, nagbago na ako. So it was a very well accepted. It was well accepted with the schools and the academy. Because this DNR in tandem with the Philippine Information Agency, PIA. So we conduct lectures on climate change, mitigation,
its effects
adaptation.
dapat kasi alam mo mas dramatic ang acceptance ng mga tao kapag sinabi natin heto ang mangyayari sa atin, 'di ba? Minsan kailangan takutin Oo, 'di ba? Kasi kung hindi, parang okay lang 'yan.
Yes. Because I also give talks. Okay, in our parish, by the way, is a stewardship parish. That's what I love about it. Okay, and I give a talk on stewardship over creation. Kasi yung approach na tinataha ko is not stewardship over the environment, over creation, all-encompassing. Kasi gano'n naman yung utos sa atin Tanong ko nga, lumilipad ka ba? Hindi. Pero lumalakad ako, kasali ako doon. Okay? And then, I give talks, and yan ang mga sinasabi ko sa mga tao. Dapat matutunan natin na mahalin. Ano? Bakit? Kasi pag hindi natin mamahal yan, masisira yan, kasama tayo doon. Okay?
At saka pag hindi mo kasi mahal ang isang bagay o isang gawain, wala kang care.
Wala kang care.
Oo. Di ba? So it all boils down to loving yourself.
Loving. And,
Di ba? Oo. Yun
sabi
yung
nga sa Bible, the wages of sin is
death.
death.
Oo. So kasama na yun lahat.
sin natin yun kasi utos sa atin yun, hindi natin sinunod eh. Hindi natin nilagaan, pinabayaan natin, sinira pa natin. Katulad ng ginawa ni Adam, nakita na niyang sumuway na asawa, nakisali pa siya.
Kisaw-saw.
So nakisaw-saw pa siya. Oo.
So, death ang kita natin sa sendong. Death. Doon na yung...
Grabe yung nangyari sa atin, and we want, we pray it doesn't happen again. So that's why we are having all of this, no? Kami, kaakibat ninyo kami in promoting, in giving the correct information para ma-encourage ang mga katauhan na we have each one of us a role to play here. Diba? So yung balikan natin, yung sa Ecoville ninyo, syempre naman, dahil it's a community and different attitudes sa mga tao nandun, different ang membership nila. So, paano kung medyo hindi sila sumasang-ayon sa kung ano yung inyong vision and mission for setting them up there? So what do you do?
Actually, we inline our advocacy to values because we're doing values formation program so that we have a shared value system. So I think one strategy we did is we asked them if they learned something from their experience during Sendong, like if they want that experience to happen again, or if they want to change or do something. So I agree, it's really challenging to change one's behavior because they have their own ways of doing things, like they don't throw trash in the right or the proper garbage or something. But if they saw that all the communities or their neighborhoods are doing the same thing or doing these things, they will follow it.
Kasi siguro magkakaroon ng hiya.
Yes.
Pag nakita mo lahat ang linis-linis ng bakod ng kapitbahay mo, mahihiya ka naman siguro, Sir Ding, na yung sa'yo lang ang medyo inaamag na doon at lahat.
By example.
By example.
Domino effect.
So, domino effect, tama po yun. So, paano po to ang tanong ko sa inyo ngayon, Sir, do you think na government lang ang, kumbaga, is it the problem of the government only? Dapat nakasalalay lang ba sa DENR, sa LGU, itong ganitong laban natin against destruction of Mother Nature?
It's everybody's concern because DNR alone cannot
Hindi kaya.
hindi kaya itong very
And yet, kayo ang sila ang
gigantic
sinisisi.
job.
Yeah.
Di ba? Kayo ang sinisisi. Di
Ang
ba?
kawawang DNR kasi pag magbagyo,
Kayo ang sinisisi,
yung opposite ng bagyo, ng drought, DNR ang may kasalanan.
And that's my point. Kasi pag sabi ng DNR, sabi ng pulis, bawal yan. Pero pag sabi ni imam, sabi ni pastor, sabi ni father, teka, mag-iisip ako ng konti dito. Ibang usapan na to. Habang panahon to eh.
In the National Greening Program, Doc, we have that, what is unique with this NGP, with other reforestation efforts, as I said in the past, which are shall we say, failures. But now, there's a social mobilization component. We involve everybody. So, the Department, national government agencies, the NGOs, the academe, the church.
The church.
Even
the young people.
Yeah, the young
the
people.
youth. Di ba?
The youth.
Kasi dapat yung mga kabataan natin ma-mobilize
So what's
natin
good
sila.
now is that all people from all walks of life,
Kasali na sila.
even the business sector,
kasali
and the
na
people's
sila.
organization, even our brother Lumads, the tribal groups. And what is good here in Cagayan de Oro is that we have a vibrant Cagayan de Oro River Basin Management Council headed by no less than Archbishop Tony Ledesma.
Kaya masyadong
sabi
ito.
niya-
Di ba?
Actually, yung Ecoville,
Yun di ba?
yung Ecoville, product yan ng mga ni Bishop Ledesma, yung mga kuha niya
So in other words, it's working now, and it is our prayer na heto tuloy-tuloy na ito. Yung mobilization nito, yung passion natin na tulong-tulong.
Ginagawa silang mas maganda eh. Maganda pa rin.
Ano?
Yung payback.
yung sa DSWD, Department of Social
Welfare.
Works, and Development. We engage the DSWD for that for the purpose. Yun, binabayaran natin yung mga enrolled sa sa purpose to engage in the
Tsaka
national greening program.
involved din sa river basin, yung payback.
Kasali din sila.
Environmental payback.
Oo.
O kasi mga
ah,
tribo.
you know, ano ngayon
PES,
ang
that is payment for ecosystem
Yes.
services.
So ano ngayon ang pwede nating sabihin sa mga tagapagpanood ng Dynamic Living the Total You? How can the community help in this war against, destruction of Mother Nature? So very simple tips siguro. Let's start with you. You're being the youngest. So ano kaya ang pinaka pwede nating gawin na as a member of the community?
Siguro we start with ourselves. Like, we should ask ourselves, what's the simplest thing that we can do for the environment? Like, if at home or in the household level, whether we turn off the lights, if we're not using it, we're throwing the garbage in its proper disposition, and also let's ask ourselves if what's our vision for the future, if we're doing this one, if we're doing this for the environment. Because I think the problem right now for us young ones is not just unemployment, but the problem right now is if the world is still there in the future, like
So kung andyan pa ba siya?
Because right now the natural disasters becomes a new normal to everyone, to our society.
Oo nga, hindi na siya yung dati, di ba? Na para bang hindi siya talagang nandyan. Pero ngayon, parang left and
Normal.
right Parang part na siya, no? So, yung sinasabi mo, napatayin yung ilaw pagka walang gumagamit. Siguro kasama na din yung nagdi-drip ng mga gripo.
Yes.
Pag nakita mo may patak-patak dyan, i-check mo naman. Huwag mong hahayaan,
things.
di ba? O kaya naman yung sinabi ninyo kanina, manigarilyo naman lang kayo. Ako naman I'm not subscribing to cigarette smoking kasi I'm a medical doctor, di ba?
Yes.
Passive smoke, mas grabe yun Pero yung cigarette butt alone, di ba?
Kung kaya mong paawat, wala tayong magagawa. Pero huwag mo kami
Huwag mo
idamay.
idamay. Oo, diba? So sa inyo naman, sir, so ano naman ang mga practical tips na pwede nating sabihin sa mga viewers natin?
Palagi akong pinatatamaan ni Sylvan. Ako ay active smoker. But I put
Ano daw yun? Example lang yun. Ano daw yun
Exaggerated
Bato-bato sa langit.
Kanina pa ako dito palagi na kung dart pa na palagi na ako na check bullseye.
Bullseye ka. So sige.
But
ano
I
yung
see to it
practical-
that I'll put in the ashtray.
So ano yung practical tip na pwede
The
nating
practical
isabi?
tip, parang pareho din kay Philip, na it really starts in the home. Yung mga apo ko, yung dalawang apo na laki, ang gulo-gulo, pag magkakain ng kindi, sabi ko, ikuan sa basura hanggang sa primero pa nag-resist, pero later on sila na nasasabi na, taga-dinar. Yung lolo nila. So, it starts in the home, then sa schools din, meron nga kaming proposal noon na sa curriculum pa lang ng elementary,
Kasali na
kasali na dapat ang environmental.
waste segregation.
Yeah, mga environment,
Tsaka yung taking care of the
concept,
environment.
yeah.
Yung concept ng
ecosystem.
Yes, para alam na nila yung mga biodiversity, ecosystem. Yes.
Lately talaga na-inculcate na talaga sa mga schools, elementary, high school.
Connectivity, lahat konektado
Yung lahat ng mga about environment, yung solid waste management, climate change mitigation, adaptation, geohazard, yung mga...
Kasali na dapat yan, di ba? So, sa inyo naman, sir, huwag niyo na patatamaan si Sir Fidel. So, ano naman yung
Hindi niya
practical
alam
tips
na
sa tingin mo?
nangyayari.
Hindi mo alam pinapatamaan mo yung katabi mo.
Sorry po. Pareho pa rin sa akin. Back to basics. Back to Genesis tayo And dapat, unang-una, paintindihan natin sa lahat, saan ba nanggaling yan? Kanino ba talaga yan? Ano bang papel natin sa mundo? Tayo ang mga gardeners. Okay? Tayo ang mga taga-alaga dito. At katulad ng sinabi ko, pag may humiram ba sa'yo, gusto mo ibabalik sa'yo, sira na. Okay? So dapat pangalagaan natin yon. At dapat establish natin yung connection. Lahat dito, konektado. Kahit sa pinakamaliit na butil ng buhangin, importante yan. Kasi pag nawala yung isang butil ng buhangin, kulang na yung totality ng isang butil.
So in other words, lahat yan magkakasama. Hindi po mo pwedeng ihiwalay yung hangin sa tubig, doon sa lupa. Hindi mo pwedeng ihiwalay yung kahoy na kinat mo at yung itatanim mo at doon sa iyong inalagaan o kaya yung basura na ikinakalat mo.
So eventually, pag nawalan, wala na rin tayo.
So, ganun yun.
Ganun kasimple.
Okay. Napakibilis po ng oras ko dito sa Dynamic Living the Total You. Napakasaya po ng aking mga guests. I'd like to thank them. And let us ask them now to give their, inspiring message or maybe an invitation to our viewers. Let's start with Philip again.
We would like to ask the youths, especially the young ones, to really to start doing something for the environment, because I think it should start in our generation right now. Like doing the simplest thing, doing the simple things at home or in school makes a big difference.
Okay. What about Sir Fidel? Para naman sa mga oldies daw kaniya. Ginagawag kita ng papel.
Yun, kami sa DNR, we have many programs for the environment. And that we really go to the schools in our information education campaign. And even in the National Greening Program, we always see to it that our students will be involved. And we have even the radio program also in Lanug sa Katilingban, in the DXIM. So we regularly do information education campaign.
Okay. Yes.
And it is really the youth that is the hope of our fatherland.
Yes.
That is
So kasama
really
natin talaga ang mga
nurtured.
kabataan. Sir Ding, ano naman po ang mensahe ninyo sa mga
Siguro, ang
tagapagtuturo?
mensahe ko, kasi nasabi na nila lahat eh.
Inagawan ka, dapat nauna ka, no?
Dinaan nyo sa edad eh. Discrimination yan. Anyway, ang masasabi ko lang, siguro, konektado doon sa sinabi nila, bawat gagawin natin, isipin natin, paano makaka-apekto to sa palibot ko, sa kapitbahay ko, sa anak ko, at saka sa sarili ko. Ano magiging resulta nito?
At saka anak ng mga anak mo.
At anak ng mga anak. Sabi ko sabihin, andyan ka na naman, mga apo.
Oho, mga apo mo, di ba?
Anyway, ganun kasimple lang siguro yung mga solusyon natin. Consciousness, awareness,
Yes.
moral, spiritual revolution.
In other words, it always starts to the very basic, on the creation story. Tandaan po natin na creation, in Genesis, actually, again, everything that God created was good. Diba? He declared everything was good.
Tayo lang naman
For every
nagpapasama
day, yes. And then, at the middle of it, God placed us,
Yes.
diba? To be caretakers. So, ang ibig po sabihin nito let us always remember that we are just stewards in this planet Earth. And let us love Mother Nature if we want to give a beautiful legacy to the future generations. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat.
Okay.